Good morning, boys and girls. Today we will continue our unit in Living in a World of Literature. Today we will focus on making and confirming predictions. Remember that when we read, we must interact with the text in order to deepen our understanding. So before we read, we can make a guess or a prediction about what the text will be about. As we read, we need to find evidence to help us confirm our prediction. But we need to make a good prediction. And in order to do that, we need to find evidence that will help us make it. We need to use what we know about the text features, the genre, and the structure of the text. We can also use our background knowledge in order to make predictions. As we read, we need to stop and think about the prediction that we have made. We need to ask ourselves, was my prediction correct? Or was it not correct? And do we need to adjust our prediction in order to make a new one? And continue reading. Today we will be reading a book called Don't Let the Pigeons Stay Up Late by Mo Willems. So I want you to make a prediction. What do you think this book will be about? I also want you to think about what makes you think that. Is it the title? Is it the picture? Is it your background knowledge about pigeons? Make a prediction before you read. And as we read, I want you to think about whether your prediction was right or wrong and make adjustments as you read. Before we start reading, let's learn a little more about the author. The author is Mo Willems, and here's a picture of him. Mo was born on February 11th, 1968. He grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana. He spent his childhood drawing and telling stories. In high school, he acted in plays and told jokes. Soon, he moved to New York to study film and animation. So by learning this about the author, I can imagine that he also takes a part in the drawings in his book since he also likes to draw. He tells stories. He loves telling stories. And in high school, he also told jokes. So that makes me think that in this book or in any other books by Mo Willems, there's probably a funny sense to them. Let's continue learning. Mo is best known for the pigeon character in his children's books. He also wrote for Sesame Street. He has created more than 100 short films and cartoons. So here we learned that he's famous for his pigeons, which is also a character in the book that we are going to read, based on the illustration in the cover. He also wrote for Sesame Street. I know most of you are familiar with Sesame Street, which is very interesting to think about. Some of the episodes that we might have watched from Sesame Street could have been written by them. He has created a lot of short films and cartoons. And here's another picture of him holding one of his books. And I see that it has pigeons in it, which reminds me that he is best known for the pigeon character. So now that we have learned a little about the author, I want you to think about how this information about the author can help you understand the book better. Let's go ahead and read Don't Let the Pigeon Stay Up Late.
Oh, good. It's you. Listen, it's getting late and I need to brush my teeth. Can you do me a favor? Don't let the pigeon stay up late. Thanks. First of all, I'm not even tired. In fact, I'm in the mood for a hot dog party. What do you say? No? I hear there's a good show about birds on TV tonight. Should be very educational. How about 5 more minutes? Come on, what's 5 minutes in the grand scheme of things? Yawn. What? I'm not tired. You know, we never get to talk anymore. Tell me about your day. Oh, I've got a great idea. We could count the stars. Can I have a glass of water? Studies show that pigeons hardly need any sleep at all. It's the middle of the day in China. I'll go to bed early tomorrow night instead. Hey, ho, ho, this here pigeon just won't go. Please? My bunny wants to stay up too. You can't say no to a bunny, can you? Yawn. Pigeon lets out a big yawn. Okay, that was not a yawn. I was stretching. I'm 110% awake. You haven't heard the yawn last of me. Pigeon falls asleep. Great work, thanks. Good night. Pigeon's dreaming about eating hot dogs.
Okay, so now we have read Don't Let the Pigeon Stay Up Late, which includes an interesting character, the pigeon who won't go to sleep. Now that we have heard the text, let's talk about some important words from the book. We learned the word favor. A favor is something you do for someone as an act of kindness. In the book, the person asked his friend for a favor. He asked him to not let the pigeon stay up late. We also learned about the word yawn, which is when you involuntarily open your mouth wide and inhale due to being tired or bored. So today for your reading response, you are going to use the vocabulary words we just reviewed, favor and yawn, to make a connection to the text. For example, here's one connection that I have to the text using these two words. When I yawn, I do myself a favor and go to sleep. This is my example. So you're going to go to Google Classroom, find your Making Connections document, and you're going to write a sentence making a connection to the text using the words favor and yawn. Today for our writing lesson, you are going to watch this video first. I want you to pay attention to what the little boy is saying.
Welcome back to Skits Kids. My name is Logan B, and today I will be reviewing the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Part 9, Long Haul. The author of this book is Jeff Kinney. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a series, and
So after hearing Logan's book talk and review, I want you to think about a book that you have read or that we have read or heard recently. And I want you to think about a book that you would like to recommend to your friends. In the video, Logan talked a lot about the book. He mentioned the reasons why he liked the book and gave us a lot of examples. So this was a really good example of a book talk that he was having in order to show us this book and his recommendation. So today what you're going to do is you're going to prepare a book talk telling your friends why they should read the book that you pick. So think about the books that we have read or heard and pick one that you would like to recommend to your friends. You are going to find this document on Google Classroom, which you will use to prepare your book talk. You're going to talk about the purpose of the book. Is it to inform or to entertain? The central idea or the message. What is the book about? You're going to give a reason and an example of why you think this is a good book to read. And remember that this example needs to be an example from the book. And finally, I want you to look for something funny or something that caught your attention with words in the book. Author's craft is how the author uses words in order to make the text interesting. So you are going to prepare your book talk, and throughout the week you're going to continue working on this. Remember to pick a good book that you really liked, that we have read or heard. I can't wait to hear your book talks. See you tomorrow.